There are two tricks that come up again and again to make analysis of these games simpler. What I mean by simpler is, you don't want to always have to go through every single move scenario. If I do this and they do that, then I can do this, and then they can do that, and then I can do that, and I win. Here's the first trick. Moving to a zero game is a winning move. If you ever see a position and you see, ooh, if I do that, I'll be moving to a zero game, then you'll be in a situation where the second player has a winning strategy, and your opponent is at move. So if you can move to a zero game, then you become the second player in a game where the second player wins. So moving to a zero game is always going to win. The second trick is this. The second trick is to make as much use as possible of this Tweedledum and Tweedledee strategy, which I like to call the copycat strategy. Here's how that one goes if you haven't seen it yet. On the board you see a picture of Tweedledum and Tweedledee, and the idea here is that Tweedledum looks a whole lot like Tweedledee. Everywhere that Tweedledum has a blue line, Tweedledee has a red line. And similarly, anywhere that Tweedledum has a red line, Tweedledee has a blue line. So, in positions that are made like this, where everything on one side kind of has a mirror flipped image on the other side, there's a kind of simple way that the second player can always win. And in the book Winning Ways, they call it the Tweedledum and Tweedledee strategy. I sometimes prefer to call it the copycat strategy, but the idea goes like this. Let's say that we're blue and they're red. We're going to see how they can beat us. If we decide to take this foot, they decide to do the same thing on the other person. And now if we as blue decide to take this, they as red will do the same thing on the other body. And when we as blue decide to make this move and disconnect everything up top, red will similarly decide to make the same move and disconnect everything up top. Now, we do this, they do this, we do this, and they once again copy, they make the last move, and they win. In any game that has this sort of Tweedledum and Tweedledee setup, they can just keep copying you again and again and again, and in this way the second player will always win. In other words, any game that looks like Tweedledum and Tweedledee is automatically a zero game.